Welcome back, everybody. In today's episode of Cooking with Kirby, we're going to be making something delicious. We're going to be making some sopes de res. So no further ado, let's get into the recipe. Since you're here, hit the like and subscribe button and make sure that the notification bell is rang. Check me out on social media. That way you can get notification of all my new recipes. Alright, to start with our ingredients. Now, to make sopes, we're going to be using instant corn flour, which we have maseca right here. If you guys remember my corn tortilla video, that is exactly the same process of doing it, except for we're going to just shape it differently. So we'll get to that in a little bit, but first we got to start off our filling. Now I'm going to be using beef filling today. So I have about 3 pounds of beef chuck roast. This is actually a pretty decent roast. There's a lot of meat in there instead of just having a bunch of fat. So this is about 3 pounds. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in my Instant Pot right now. I'm going to be using my Instant Pot today. Now to marinate our meat, I'm going to be making a nice flavorful salsa. So I have right here Sauté, kind of already boiled a little bit, 6 guajillo chilies and a half of an onion. And then over here I have 4 garlic cloves, 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, 1 tablespoon of oregano, 1 teaspoon of dried chopped bay leaves. And to top it, this is part of it, I'm going to be using some cilantro and onion along with a fresh salsa and queso fresco. Really simple. So since we already got our chilies pretty much softened up, I'm going to go ahead and blend them. So we're going to be taking our chilies and place them in our blender. Now we are going to be using some of this water, this liquid that we have left over. We're probably going to be using about 1 cup. So go ahead and pour in your onion and your chilies in there. Now we're going to add in our garlic, oregano, bay leaves, and our cumin. I'm going to start off by adding in 1 teaspoon of salt. Since this is a marinade, you kind of want it a little bit more saltier than normal, like if you were going to be seasoning meat. So now we're going to go ahead and add in about 1 cup of this liquid. And we're going to go ahead and blend. Okay, let's go ahead and check for seasoning. Let's go ahead and add a little bit more salt. And you know what? Actually, this needs a little bit of lime. I'm gonna add a pinch more salt. Not too much. Just need a little bit more. And I'm also gonna be adding the juice of 1 lime. Alright, so let's mix this up and see how it is. Alright, let's go ahead and check for seasoning. That'll be good. This is going to be a good little marinade. So let's go ahead and get this into our beef. Alright, so let's go ahead and take our marinade salsa that we made. Let's go ahead and add it into our Instant Pot. Okay, go ahead and stir this up. Because once all this is done, you want to be able to shred this up and it'll have all that marinade in there. So that way every little piece of the meat will have this marinade in it. But yeah, for the most part, this is pretty much what I use my Instant Pot for most of the time. I'll do like a pork butt, put it in here, just let it break down and do something with it. Alright, so we're gonna cover it, seal it up. Okay, so now we're gonna be setting our pressure cooker to pressure cook. Make sure that your vent is closed, so you want to make sure that it's on the seal portion. So we're going to go ahead and hit pressure cook, and it's got more power, and we're going to be increasing the time to about, I think it'll be done in an hour, but just to be on the safe side, 1.5 hours. So yeah, we'll set it to 1.5 hours. That should be enough time to be able to get that beef pulled apart tender, and we'll be able to just shred it up like nothing. So we're going to just let it do its thing. In the meantime, we're gonna prep up some sopes. Okay, so we have our maseca, which is the instant corn flour. Now I'm gonna be doing a double batch. So this is 4 cups of the instant corn flour. You can do 1 batch, it would be 2 cups of the instant flour and 1.5 cups of water. Now that'll probably give you roughly about 8 sopes, 8 to 9 sopes or so. because we're gonna be making them a little bit bigger. So I want a little bit of extra for, you know, work tomorrow. If you want to know how I meal prep, this is pretty much it. I just make a little bit of extra dinner the day before. So I got 4 cups of the instant corn flour. Now we're just like our corn tortilla video and the gorditas, it's the exact same thing. So we're gonna just be adding in 3 cups of warm water. Now this is gonna be a little messy, but it's just the process. Actually, we need a little bit of salt. Ooh, good thing I caught it. Probably wanna do about a teaspoon of salt. Okay, now we're just gonna mix this together. It's a little messy at first, but the more you knead the dough, then it starts, you know, coming off of your fingers and stuff. You know, that flour just absorbs all that water really quick. So the only thing to do that you got to do right now is just keep kneading, keep moving the flour, and you'll notice that it'll start coming together. Now there is times where maybe I put a little bit too much of the flour and it's a little dry. You'll probably need to add just a little bit of water, and you'll just do that probably like a teaspoon at a time. But once you knead it for like about 5 minutes, that's when you'll be able to like pay attention and see if you need to add a little bit more water. You know, this is just an eye game really. Sometimes I get it right on the money. I don't even have to, you know, add anything. And then there's times where I do need to add more to it. All right, so now that we got it all pretty much incorporated kinda, go ahead and bring it to your countertop. Go ahead and keep kneading. Get all the little pieces off of your fingers. Put it back into the dough. As you can see now it's starting to, you know, clean up on my hands. And just keep kneading. Now, the texture that you want this to be, you want it to be like Play-Doh. That's what you want it to be. Just soft like Play-Doh. Actually, that 3 cups was right on the money. We don't need to add anything to it. But like I said, if you feel like it's a little dry on you, just add 1 teaspoon of water at a time. This is just how you want it to feel. It's just like just Play-Doh. That's it. Just like Play-Doh. So you'll be able to, you know, mold it exactly how you want it. So what I'm gonna do, I mean, we still have a lot of time on our beef, so I'm gonna let this rest for about 15 minutes. So we're gonna cover it, put it back in our bowl, and we're gonna cover it with a rag. All right, so just go ahead and cover, let it rest for 15 minutes. All right, so once your dough has rested, now we're gonna go ahead and shape our balls for our sopes. Now, you want like about a 2-inch thick diameter of a ball. You kind of want these a little bit big, kind of like how I did in my gordita video. You want it a little bit big. And see how the dough's smooth? This is what you're trying to shoot for, is a nice smooth dough that doesn't stick to your fingers. So just keep that in mind. So we're gonna go ahead and make our balls. So I'm gonna do that with all of these. So this is about the size of ball you want. About 2 inches. It's probably a little bit more than 2 inches. About 2 inches thickness, diameter. So just like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and make balls out of these, and I'm gonna show you what we're gonna be doing next. So the 3 cups of corn flour made 16 balls, about, you know, 2 inches or so in diameter. So I got 5 in my family, so I'm estimating about 2 each, just in case they want a third one. There is a third one available, but I know my little daughter, she's not gonna eat 3 of them, so I should be able to have 2 for lunch tomorrow. So let me get my tortilla press and we'll go on to the next step. Okay, so we're gonna be needing a tortilla press. Really easy to do. So you got, what I did is I took a plastic bag, you know, the Ziploc bag, you know, just cut the top off and the sides, and you get this. Works really well. So we're gonna go ahead and lay down that. We're gonna flatten our ball just a little bit. Just wanna make kind of like a disc shape. Now we're not flattening this all the way. We're gonna be wanting this a little thick, but this helps us give a nice even press. And that's about right? That's about what you want right here. So we're gonna be going to, you can use a non-stick pan or a griddle or comal, like how, you know, my family says it. So let's go ahead and go to the pan. Okay, so we're gonna be using a non-stick pan. The only reason why I'm doing that is because everybody has a non-stick pan in their house. So, but if you have a comal, that works perfect. So we're gonna take our tortilla dough and we're gonna go ahead and lay it down over medium heat. Now this is really hot. I've been letting this pan heat up for quite some bit, so over, you know, medium heat, really heated, and we're gonna let this cook on 1 minute per side. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and flip, and we're gonna let that other side cook for a minute also. Okay, now for this part, we're gonna be flipping once again, but now we need to shape the bowl of the sope. Now I can't handle the heat like my mom does. She has nails though, I don't have nails. So what I do is I just smash with the bottom of a spatula, because right now it's still, you know, kind of gooey on the inside, you know, because once we steam it, then that's when it'll, you know, firm up. So I just take another wooden spatula and I just, you know, build my sides. Now we're gonna let this cook for another minute on this side, and that's gonna, you know, finish it off. And then we'll put in our cloth tortilla, tongue tied here. We'll put it in a cloth and let it steam. So we're gonna let that cook for another minute. So that way, how I did it here, you know, it still gives you the bowl. That way you can put your filling. All right, so now that our minute is up, now we got it fully cooked. So we wanna go ahead and put it in our cloth towel so that way it can steam. So our beef has finished. It's actually been like 20 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and it should natural release. Yeah, it should natural release. So natural release it, and then we'll go ahead and open it up. Woo, a lot of steam in there. All right, this should be fall apart tender, yep. Look at that. Now we're not gonna need all this juice. We're gonna be using a little bit of the juice. So go ahead and pull this out. Now I'm gonna be adding in a little bit of that juice back in there. But yeah, this is really pulled apart. I mean, I don't even have to do anything to it. It just falls apart on its own. So this is gonna be some really delicious sopes. Just a tad bit more. So that's 3 scoops so far. You know, because that juice is where all your flavor's at. So you wanna make sure that you get that juice back in here. You know, you got that, you know, all the juices from the marinade. So you want that back in here. Let's see. Just one more. So that's 4 scoops. And if you feel it needs any salt, by all means add salt to it. This is right now where you would finalize that. Okay, so we're gonna get our sope. Now these can be fried. This is how my grandmother did them. But you can fry these and get a nice color on them. And you know, it makes them a little crispy, a little crunchy. But if you want to fry them or not, I mean, this is how you know, these are fully cooked. When you put them in the little towel, it steams them, so they're fully cooked. But if you want to toast them, you know, fry them up a little bit, you can go ahead and fry these. So to build it, we're gonna go ahead and lay down some of that delicious meat that we just made. Make sure you get a good scoop on there. Now we're gonna crumble a little bit of queso fresco right on top. This is my favorite cheese. I love this with beans, and I don't hold back either. I like to put a good amount. We're gonna hit it with a little bit of the onion and cilantro. My favorite, a red salsa. And don't hold back on that salsa either. And then finally, we're just gonna hit it with some lime. That right there, folks, is our sopes. This right here reminds me of childhood. This smells really, really good. That beef has a really good flavor. And then with those toppings, let's give this a try. That right there is a winner. Really, really good flavor. You got really, really good seasoned meat. Now, when it comes to sopes, you can fill it with anything. You could just put, beans on there, smashed beans, and top it with some queso fresco and salsa. But this right here, this is a winner. That meat has so much flavor, and then you add the freshness from the onion and cilantro and the queso fresco and that salsa. Perfect. This is a really delicious recipe. I hope you enjoy it. If you're new to my channel, consider hitting the subscribe button that we can see future videos just like this. As always, I'll leave the link in the video description and in the comment section so that we can go to my website, cookingwithkirby.com, to get the full printable recipe. I have these recipes. They're really good. You should try them out. Now y'all be beautiful and take care.